Hey everyone. Today I want to talk to you about some of the lesser known dangerous places on Earth. First is the thing that probably brought you to this video. This is Lake Nyos. It's located in Cameroon, and it's responsible for the deaths of at least 1,746 people and over 3,000 livestock. And yes, it explodes, but probably not in the way you're thinking it explodes. You see, Lake Nyos is next to an active volcano and has a large pocket of magma underneath it. Because of this magma pocket, carbon dioxide leaks into the water of the lake, turning the water into carbonic acid. This is not necessarily a big deal. You can find carbonic acid in a lot of things like soda. However, in large amounts in a gas form, it can become extremely dangerous. And unfortunately, it is in very large supply underneath this lake. Due to shifting tectonic plates under the lake, the carbonic acid in the lake exploded, forming a massive gas cloud in the area nearby. This resulted in nearly 2,000 people suffocating on the gas, and several nearby towns being completely abandoned. Luckily, the government of Cameroon has worked to degas the lake, rendering it relatively safe. For this next area, we will travel to the North and South Korean DMZ. That's the demilitarized zone. I want to tell you about a golf course that will kill you, and it's not from boredom of watching one of the most boring sports in the world. This is Camp Bonfice. It's a UN command military post. The camp used to be known as Camp Kitty Hawk, but it was renamed in honor of a guy named Arthur Boniface. He was one of 2 US soldiers killed in the Korean axe murder incident, which, holy fucking shit, expect a video on that one of these days. Camp Boniface is home to the golf course I want to talk about. Calling it a golf course is kind of stretching it because it's only one hole, and it's a par 3, which for you non-golfers out there is the shortest hole in a standard golf course. What makes this golf course unique, but also dangerous, is that being in the DMZ, it's surrounded by landmines. In fact, the mines are so close to the course that there has been at least one incident where an off-target shot has caused a landmine to detonate, which I imagine caused whichever general who made that shot to shit his fucking pants. And, what if your ball goes out of bounds? Do you draw straws to see who has to go into the fucking minefield to find the ball? A Washington Post reporter once stated that were it not for the minefield and soldiers, it would look like a big Boy Scout camp. Which just makes me fucking terrified of Boy Scout camps, to be honest with you. This is what this place looks like. It's surrounded by minefields and fucking barbed wire. Which just makes me think, what is happening at Boy Scout camps? Are there any former Boy Scouts out there who can tell me what's happening? Because I'm scared for you. Next is one of the most dangerous airports that ever existed. This is the Kai Tak Airport in Hong Kong, and it's surrounded on 3 sides by water, and on the 4th side is a residential apartment complex. Mountains around the airport make it nearly impossible for planes to land, meaning the pilots have to fly over the apartment complexes to land the plane. Also, due to some complicated plane stuff that I don't really understand, automatic landing sequences cannot be used due to the difficulty of the landing angle, meaning pilots basically had to eyeball it to land this plane all on their own. Between the years of 1948 and 1994, there were a total of 14 crashes, which resulted in 224 deaths, which is about an average of 16 deaths per crash. Eventually, the Hong Kong government started to get pretty worried about all the crashes, and they got nervous that eventually one of these crashes would land in the growing apartment complex next to the airport, causing a much bigger crisis. And so they shut the airport down in the late 90s. Next is one of the most dangerous walkways in the world. This is called the Broomway. It's located in England, and it provides access to a place called Foulness Island, which, by the way, what a fucking name. You can only access the Broomway during low tide, as during high tide the walkway is covered in water. The Broomway is about 6 miles long, and the area can become covered in mist, making it very difficult to tell what direction shore is in, which means without a guide, your chances of making it through without drowning are pretty low. The Broomway has been recorded as far back as the 1400s, and as you all know, even back then there were idiots. A historian named Philip Britton once said that some locals would succumb to pleasurable excitement and would stay out until the last possible moment and then race across the Broomway trying to beat the tide coming in, which just reminds me of all the stupid, dangerous TikTok challenges I see. Imagine if social media was around back then. They'd probably start something called the fucking Broomway Challenge. Even with a guide, the Broomway is extremely dangerous, as the fog, strong tides, and holes in the mud could get anyone turned around or leave you with a broken ankle and stranded. As many as 100 deaths have been recorded on the Broomway, but the real number is likely much higher. Thankfully, a bridge to Foulness Island was eventually built in the 1920s, resulting in the Broomway basically no longer being used, except by the military. The last thing I want to leave you with is David Thomas Circle in Washington, D.C. If you actually look up David Thomas to find out what this place is named after, you'll see that he's the founder of Wendy's. The reason that it's named after this guy is because it's basically a triangle-shaped roundabout with a big Wendy's in the middle. So they named it after the founder, which is not actually its official name. This triangle-shaped roundabout is located in Washington, D.C. The design does not work well at all, and it's resulted in over 400 crashes just between the years of 2015 and 2019, with Washington, D.C. naming it the most hazardous road in Washington. Eventually, the mayor of DC asked the government for $35 million to buy the Wendy's, demolish it, and rework the area to make it safer. Eventually, though, the government realized that $35 million for a Wendy's is a bit much and used our old friend, the power of eminent domain, to take Wendy's and demolish it, with plans to rework David Thomas Circle by 2024, hoping to make the area safer. Just to give you an idea of how fucking stupid this road was, one councilwoman was quoted as saying, "My 8-year-old was asking me, 'Mommy, why is this road set up this way?' Which is when you know you have a problem." Anyway, that's it. Just some dangerous places that I thought were interesting. Sorry this video is kind of short and took a long time. I got busy with procrastinating. Anyway, if you liked the video, go ahead and like and subscribe. Or, don't. I'm not your dad. Bye.